Welcome back. We're here to cover the divine feminine, and this has been an interesting month indeed. And we are going to dive straight into your read. For those of you that don't know, I'm Yildiz from Yildiz Readings. I'm an intuitive astrologer, psychic medium, clairvoyant, and soul coach linking to your spiritual path. Should you need a booking, you can go to the link that is directly below. And we also do host free updates astrologically should you wish to sign up on the website. Separately, we do have a landing page for our membership. That is an all-inclusive package that we're building, and it will host pre-release content, chat room, you name it. Go and take a look at the landing page and we'll give you more updates. Now, let's take a look at your energy and what I see coming through for you guys. Now, this ineffectiveness has been a very transitional frequency. We had been in retrogrades at the beginning of the year. We felt very foggy, very tired, very emotional. We then moved into the trigger points and the activation points with Aries, where we had the lineup of the Aries planets, and we just moved through that lunation. Now, your crowning energy of what's coming through linking to your individual life and your twin flame path, there is maybe some revelations that you are having at the moment. You also could be pondering where this person is and their ascension process and where things are. And I'm noticing her actually holding a bunch of flowers. It's almost like the notion of, he loves me not. This is a time, especially for you, to become bold. And I feel, especially where it does come to you as a Venus energy, you as a divine feminine, there is a growth stage you are going through to a different level. Now, sometimes we can get really anxious. We're like, okay, is this my time to shine? Is this my time to, be the center of my attention or to be the center of another person's attention? What do I want? How do I feel? It's one of those pivotal moments, and sometimes we can get really triggered. We can get really worried. Oh my gosh, if I have all these feelings, if I have all these emotions, what does this mean in the context? And I'm noticing from this past position, becoming braver. Now, yours very similar to the divine masculines had 5s in it. And I did notice that both of those positions are the 5. So if you're saying 555, regardless, it came through in the exact same position. And so there is a bit of duality going on here. And, what is the opposite sign of Aries? It's Libra. So we are looking at our connections. We had those lunations this month between Libra and Aries. It's, getting along to stay along. And then it's Aries. It's, well, hey, what about me? So we have to have the integration of both those things. You are allowed to have your dreams. You are allowed to have your hopes and dreams and aspirations. You're allowed to be, bold and assertive. It's not a problem. Other people may, from a codependent level, believe it's a problem, but you have moved through a lot of changes. Now, this also might have linked pressure points that you needed to address. The card relates to resilience, experience, getting stronger, and fresh perspectives. And that was what the retrogrades at the beginning of the year were about. They were to go inside ourselves, to bring up the things where we felt stuck, to bring up the revelations of what the dream was and maybe where it didn't get to, and the disillusionment, and ponder, assess, purge, and redefine those circumstances. So we're now in that up and up, and there is a requirement again to how do I move beyond this point? And I think in the heart of it, there could be a bit of anxiety. Do I have enough time? Have I run out of time? And the cat analogy was coming through in the Divine Masculines reading as well. I was getting the 9 lives energy. And in the heart of it, you have growing up energy. So can the heart grow beyond the wound? Wanting to grow and experience rejection of perpetual youth. Again, it's sudden. So there is a maturity that is occurring. Now, sometimes, yes, with these 2 cards, the wake up call and the growing up, could it be something personal you're directly going through? Yes, it can. Could it also be a perspective that you've gained through this and it's already done that growth and you're kind of like, okay, now that we're moving forward again, it's not that I didn't have this in the bag and know about, the process that I am maturing. I need to use my time wisely. What do I want to put my energy into? Things that are done, but what do we do from here? And, the nine lives energy is sometimes it's almost like the cup spilled over and we're looking at them and we're like, oh, it's all over. And I'm not saying that some of us can't have those moments. But what I am saying is there is silver linings here, but there's also salvageable situations. So it's about getting on the other side of that cup where instead of it being half uh, empty, I've got more room to fill it now because I'm lighter. So I think it's important to accept who you are and to notice that regardless of what people do, sometimes we can gain the interpretation that we're unimportant. Sometimes we feel as though people are hiding things from us or they're not being as transparent as they could be. And we do have this showing up here where you're wanting to be truthful to yourself, but you also don't want to get hurt. And there's always a risk involved, isn't there? But again, I think this is a need for you to integrate at the moment, to take one step at a time, to put one foot in front of the other, because you have moved through a lot of changes. And, it's a little bit like taking the mask off. It's not we have to be all cocky and say, hey, I've got this in the bag. But we see this is the first time I've really noticed it. It's almost like our eyelashes are falling off. It's the false self has stripped away and the bare bones of a situation are exposed and you're getting into the core of saying, okay, who in the here and now am I? Yes, I acknowledge what has gone down. What do I want right now? Can I honor the fact that I might still be scared or nervous or feel ill-equipped? 100%. Now, you can't go back to yesterday, but it doesn't mean to say with that person, with that place, with that thing, it can't change. Because trust me on this. After the Aries energy, moving into next month, everything's changing. You have changed. We are not the same people as we were from 2020 and beyond. Right now, you have a very rare opportunity, and I think you're underestimating yourself, Divine Feminine. So it's about realizing that all the adversity you move through has actually given you so many skills, and you are closer to success than you think, but you're going to have to keep your cool. Now, it doesn't mean to say that you're a bad person if you are being very strict with what you do and don't want. And I think for some of you, it could be that you're using your throat chakra. You could be more bold. You're like, look, if you're ready to play normal, if you're ready to work with me, I'm all in. If you're not, I'm going to be super assertive. I don't have time in my life for drama. I am moving towards my goals. I'm staying in my lane. I'm looking at things I need to address. I don't want this to keep cropping up in my life. And so what can that look like? It could be this revelation that a lot of this purging, a lot of these patterns of the ups and downs and backwards and forwards have really taken a toll. The good thing is with this month, what we don't quite grasp is slow and steady is going to win the race. Some things are going to happen quicker than others, but we're definitely moving forward. Yeah, this is you coming into your direct power. I'm actually seeing these cards as very, very positive. And do I think this is happening at an individual level first? Yes, I do. And I also have seen this show up in Divine Masculine's life. So if you haven't seen that, go and have a look. We do have all the videos out for the masculine, feminine, and karmic cycle. So definitely have a look at that because you can see some correlating energies. Now, why is it so important? Now, if you were wanting a joint connection update, we do chat about these things regularly inside the live updates, or you directly can get a personal booking. And then we can dive into where they are, where you are, how to directly navigate those circumstances. Because, especially those of you that do go to channels that talk about the twin flame path, for instance, or talk about astrology, they're going to give you some guides based on the transits. And, I do look at the Aries position as a positive position, because when you do look at the ascension process, you have to know thyself before you can enter into connection. So for those of you that had reconciliations, it could have been quite testing, working through that. And the best way you would have navigated that was by not controlling the situation and having yourself and your autonomy. And it's nothing different to where we are right now after April. So requiring independence, but not necessarily forgetting the fact that people are in connections and discounting it, but also seeing where you directly have power in situations and showing up in a very positive, healthy, assertive way. I do think this is a new leaf for you. I did get that for some of you, it could be that you have been purging, you've been up and down, maybe getting some song downloads. But one of them that's been shown to me is Ugly Cry. And, tell me who the song, who the artist is. I can't recall. Is it Carrie Underwood? I'm not sure. I know she has one song that has the mascara coming down the eyes, but it's on the opposite side of that. There's power in emotions, and it doesn't have to be that you're perfect and you're not crying and you're tough and, you're gung ho through. It's you're strong because of that. You're strong because you have experienced that. So don't look at it as a weakness. But look at how this individual is looking on the card in the red. Keep your temper. Don't allow anger to rule you. And, so why does forgiveness come into things? Forgiveness isn't saying that it's okay that people treat you like crap. Forgiveness isn't that we are saying that a bad outcome is a positive thing, but it helps us move forward. It doesn't hold us in stagnancy. And this is a month where we are being shook out of stagnancy, shoved into different locations and ways of being. And, really re-identifying with who you are and what you need right now, not forgetting who you are. Now, it doesn't mean get scared and don't go into connections. No, this is not what this is referencing. This is about being open, transitioning. Can it mean that you are now who you are? You're just never going to forget who you are again? Yes, and that can be a very healthy thing going into the connection. Now, we will check in with this next week. Stay tuned. If you do want these pre-released, you can sign up to our Sage in a Circle network that is hosted via the website. So we have that as our membership page, which will be open very, very shortly. And it gives you all the information about the sign up. Now, separately, if you need a private booking and you want me to directly look into where your connection is, you can find the links below. I do fill up fast. So wherever you are in the world, we can give you a hand there. Jump on. Otherwise, tell us how this directly relates to you in your life. I'd love to hear.